So if you talk to Attorney General Jeff Sessions, he'd tell you, this will ensure that local law enforcement will get the life-saving gear they need. Critics say he's leaving out that they could already do that under certain circumstances. Is that correct?
President Obama put certain restrictions on getting this kind of equipment, but the equipment that the Attorney General was referring to, like heavy headgear, that was still available, although the Obama administration did make police departments kind of jump through a few hoops to demonstrate that it was truly needed. And I must say that in the Houston flooding that we're seeing, armored vehicles that they got under this program have been useful. We're different. It's a different political climate now. When President Obama was in office, there were a number of shootings of unarmed African-American men, and the protests that followed, the police departments used this heavy military equipment, and that isn't the way we think of ourselves as having to be policed. And so the reforms were put in place. Donald Trump is president in a very different political climate. The police departments are part of his base, you might say, and he is making a big issue out of the fact that he's removing various restrictions, that he trusts them to do what's needed. And I think we can just hope that police departments don't overplay their hand.
Let me ask you this question. Armored vehicles, as you mentioned, in emergency situations, in flooding disasters, absolutely. And I think what critics might have an issue with is rocket launchers. Why would that ever be necessary in our communities in the United States?
Right. I'm tempted to say it's people playing with war when they shouldn't be. And I don't know of any instance where a rocket launcher has been used. But you do have an administration in power here which has made people fearful that there could be more and bigger demonstrations. I mean, we had neo-Nazis marching in the streets, and some violence ensued as a result of that. And so I think the mentality is that they need these things, although there's been no demonstrated use of them. And bayonets, why would police need bayonets? I read one quote saying that they need them to cut seatbelts when people are stranded in cars. I don't know that you need a bayonet for that.
What about the optics, Eleanor? How is this going to be perceived in communities like Ferguson, Missouri?
Right. Well, the reformers under President Obama championed community policing, which means that police go into a community and become friends with people in the community. They become known. The Trump administration has a very different attitude, a much more authoritarian approach to policing. And I think it is disturbing to civil liberties advocates and to some community activists, too, who think that we're turning this into an us versus them situation when that's not really necessary.
Interesting discussion. Eleanor Clift, as always, thank you so much.
Thank you.